Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to my Conversations on Wellness. Tonight, I'm super excited to be talking with my friend Cielo Canlas, who's also known as Island Intuitive. And we met a couple of years ago at an expo. Do you remember the name of it?
Yes, it was like the holistic. It was the first year they were doing it, like the Hawaii Holistic Festival or something like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was at Magic Island, and it wasn't supposed to be there either, right? Wasn't it supposed to be at the stadium? I mean, at
Yeah.
the concert, the
Yeah. It was like
across the street, Blaisdell.
right. Yeah.
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 But anyways, it was a fun event outdoors at Magic Island, and you were giving your readings. I think you were just starting your business then.
Gina, I literally printed business cards at 2 in the morning. I
Then
that
before
was
that event.
that was literally my starting point. Like you were there when I
Yeah.
started. Yes.
Yeah. It was so cool to be with you in the
It
booth.
was
And
fun.
yeah, what an experience. And look at you
I
today.
know.
You're rocking your IG, girl.
Oh,
You
thank
are.
you. Thank you.
And you're expanding so much more into teaching and
Yeah.
other gifts that you have. You might as well share. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so hi everybody. I'm
Hi. Oh,
Shello.
yes. Oh, hey, everybody. Wait. Stop.
Thank
Let me
you.
introduce you to her
Yeah.
first. This is
Okay.
my friend. Oh, wait, this is
Okay.
my friend. There. Shalom, Island Intuitive, local. Well, she lives here in Hawaii.
Yes.
She does events. She does online business classes for relationships coming soon. And I saw you're doing like spirit work, like to help advance. I'll let you describe what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you, Gina. Hi
Yes. Go ahead.
everybody. So I started out my business doing readings, doing intuitive readings. And then I started doing chakra readings and doing healing energy work. And I've always done coaching. That's kind of always been, even outside of my business, that's kind of been my career path, right? A human services career path, counseling. That's just kind of been natural to me. Also teaching. But I always like above everything else, I love everything I do, but teaching and mentoring is like, I love that so much because when I'm working with people, whether I'm doing coaching or readings or whatever, in essence, that it's a one-on-one opportunity. You're doing that with them already anyway, right? You're mentoring, you're teaching. There's just it's I mean, gosh, I can't tell you how much it fills my heart. Like this is my calling. This is what I was meant to do, and I'm just, I'm excited that it all started that day. I wasn't even
Yeah.
supposed to be there. I wasn't even supposed to be there. Lucky, bless her heart, invited me because I had taught a class at her school,
Mhm.
like last minute kind of thing. And she invited me to share her booth, and I literally printed up business cards the night before. I don't even know if I was called Island Intuitive back then. I don't even know.
No,
I
it
don't
was
even
way
know.
before. Yeah.
And I was
Now
reading
you're
for everybody in the
branded.
booth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
everybody
was
was
so
just like,
fun.
because it was, we were there early and it was kind of slow. So like the other healers, we were all like reading, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
But so now, yeah, I have a bedroom that I converted into a healing space. That's where I do my work. And yeah, and so now I'm official.
Yeah. And you helped my mom. I brought my
Oh,
mom
your
to see you.
mom. Oh my God, she's
Yeah.
so
A year
lovely. Yes.
ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's so lovely. I loved working with your mom. Yes. And I saw her the other night dancing with you, and it just warmed
Oh,
my
yeah.
heart to see her spirit so lifted.
Yes.
But yes,
Yeah.
so it's been amazing. So I've always had this, it's probably been maybe 3 or 4 years in my head, right? Of
Mhm.
courses that I wanted to come up with. And I came up with little mini courses before when I did the expos. I was teaching the little 1 hour courses.
Mhm.
But always had it in my heart. Like I knew I wanted to teach something. And so, perfect
Mhm.
time with COVID, right? Where I've been working from home actually even before COVID, my regular full time job.
Mhm.
And so it just gave me an opportunity to really focus and do it on my time and more slowly, right? I just kind of worked
Mhm.
on it little by little during this time. And so I finally launched it on 11/11. I finally
Yeah.
launched my course, Foundations of Being a Sensitive Soul.
Mhm.
And, I came up with that because there were so many people that didn't understand their sensitive nature. They
Mhm.
just they were sensitive beings, whether they were empaths or highly sensitive people. They didn't know, like myself, I didn't know growing up that there was such a thing as an empath or highly sensitive person. I didn't have a parent that could help me maneuver through that and explain that to me. I just kind of
Mhm.
had to live my life up until, my older years, until I figured out that this is like a spiritual thing, right? And so I'm finding more and more people like that, where they have some kind of an understanding. They're dipping their toes in it a little bit, but don't quite understand. And so I put it together in a very succinct 6-week course, right?
Mhm.
So the first week we demystify everything it means to be an empath or a highly sensitive person. I actually teach them what that is. What is it to be an empath? What is it to be highly sensitive? And that you could be both, right? You could be both. And what the characteristics are, so that they can understand what it is, right? So just to give you an overview, like when you're empathic, you tend to absorb energy into your body, right? So a lot of people right now with COVID having a really
Mhm.
hard time, because they're absorbing the collective energy of the universe. It's a
Mhm.
lot, Gina. I don't know if you've
It
been
is.
struggling this during this time, but it's a lot. It's
It is.
exhausting.
Mhm.
It's depressing. It's
Mhm.
overwhelming, and sometimes you just feel in a funk and you don't even know why. And it's not your energy. It's all this other energy swirling around you, right? So empaths tend to absorb. That's the word, absorb
Mhm.
energy. Highly sensitive people, the main thing about them is they are sensory sensitive. So all the five senses, so bright lights, loud noises, extra sensitive all the way around, right? And they also have this kind of, people feel drawn to them, but they don't necessarily absorb, right? They can help people and they feel drawn to people, but they could still get drained, just like empaths, because, they have that helping, nurturing kind of personality. So the main thing is highly sensitive people have, sensory sensitivity on kind of at the foremost top thing that they are sensitive to, right? So that's kind of how you can distinguish it. If you're really sensitive to your lights, loud sounds, if your skin
So
gets itchy.
autistic children would be considered highly sensory
Highly,
beings.
yes.
Mhm.
And you know what? Now this is like a real big jump to say this, but
Mhm.
you know, in Western medicine, there's a lot of diagnoses,
Mhm.
right? Autism being one of them, right? Um, but I also believe that autistic people are highly sensitive people. And so, what came first? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Was their system so overloaded from sensory that it just overwhelmed their nervous system? Who knows, right?
Mhm.
Same thing with other illnesses like fibromyalgia, which I just got diagnosed with,
Oh,
right?
wow.
All has to do with the nervous system. Like
Mm.
a very kind of a mysterious kind of disease. They don't really know, or disorder. They don't really know what causes is. All they know is that the nervous system gets dysregulated, it gets overreactive, hyperreactive. Well, as I'm talking more and more to spiritual people, I find that many of them suffer from fibromyalgia. That's what it's called in Western medicine.
Wow.
Which is what is fibromyalgia? It's basically a hypersensitivity of the nerves, of the nervous system,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So when you really start to look at um, Western medicine diagnoses like anxiety and things like that, you can
Mhm.
almost parallel it to a spiritual phenomenon, right? When you talk about anxiety, well, that's people with their energy systems all out of balance, right? That's
Mhm.
people with their root chakra out of balance. So I feel like there's some pearls of wisdom to be taken from our Western medicine, but there's a lot of spiritual, holistic things that, if you can find yourself a holistic practitioner, right,
Mhm.
that marries Western and Eastern philosophies, you're golden, because they're treating you mind, body, and spirit. And that's what we are. We're not just our physical body that like they treat us as, they're treating
They do.
symptoms, right? They're treating
Right.
symptoms. Yeah. So what's the underlying, what's the
Root
underlying
cause.
issue? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like for me, like in my experience with my thyroid cancer,
Yes.
like I know the reason, like,
Mhm.
I know the reason. And like most people would just see it at like, they would just see it in the Western way, but I know the energetics behind it and
Yes.
why. And that is why I'm doing this, because I need to
Yeah.
use my throat chakra. I need to use
Yes,
my
you
voice.
do. Yes, you do. And I
So
remember you said that to me when we were messaging back and forth. You said that first thing you said, Cello, I know this is my throat chakra stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it is. And so this is part of my healing, like
Oh,
being able to
absolutely.
express myself and all that. So I totally get it. Like I understand this energetics behind that. And also the whole chakra system and how we're in COVID, the root chakra, everyone is in fear. So for me, how I handle that is I go hiking, I spend time outdoors in nature, different things like that. Is there anything else that you'd recommend to energize our root chakra?
Yeah, so root chakra is real interesting because that's our survival. That is our primal. When you're first conceived and born, that is it. Like that, there's where you start. You're
Hmm.
feeling in kind of part of this world. And
Hmm.
so grounding is so important for us, and a lot of people don't realize that we are constantly imbalanced all day every day with energy around us and things going on around us. But there's so many different practices that people do for grounding, and you're doing a great
Hmm.
one, spending time in nature, because what does the earth do? The earth is grounding element,
Hmm.
right? Literally, if somebody were to be feeling anxiety and I took them outside and told them to take off their shoes and step on the grass,
Hmm.
right?
Better.
Literally
Hmm.
that anxious energy would just leave their body and absorb to the ground. That's how quick it
Right.
is, right?
Yeah.
That's how
I heard
quick
a
it is.
story of a teacher recently who was working with just a bunch of children, and not during COVID, but pre-COVID. She was in a classroom, and there was one child who was having like lots of anxiety in class and just fidgeting and couldn't pay attention and stuff like that. And then as soon as the bell rang, this kid took off, ran to the corner of the playground, took off his shoes, grounded, and it was such a relief to him to get his energy back to in balance. And
Wow.
yeah, I can just visualize that. Like the child knew what it needed, you
That's
know?
amazing for a child
Hmm.
to, I mean, obviously a very intuitive child, very in tune with his body. But here's the
Yeah,
thing, Gina, a lot of us are not in tune with our body.
yeah.
Okay. Our body has its own language. And you know what?
Hmm.
For those of us that come down with illness, it's probably been trying to talk to us for a long time. Whether
Right.
that's slow down or, you're doing too much, you need to slow down. But a lot of us don't know how to slow down. We're just kind
Hmm.
of go, go, go. If our body will keep going with us, we go until our body, we start having all these symptoms. And it gets to the point where the last and final thing is you're just down and out, right? You're just
Hmm.
down and out. Something takes you so to the point where you cannot do anything anymore. And then it's like, oh man, I should have listened to my body, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, our body is constantly talking to us. And honestly, all the answers are already inside of us. It's just our ability to really tune in, to
Yeah.
attune, right, to our spiritual self. It's all
Hmm.
there. We were born with it, which is what's so amazing. But yeah,
Hmm.
in terms of your question about grounding, there are people that really resonate with gemstones, right? I have a
Oh,
friend who didn't
yeah.
know about gemstones, and she responds to it so amazingly. She has like 80. She's diagnosed with ADHD,
Hmm.
anxiety, PTSD, all this stuff. But
Hmm.
when she holds a gemstone, oh man, like night and day, right?
Well, that makes sense. It's grounding too, right? I mean, it's like the
Yes.
earth in your hand.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that's just it. There's different ways to bring the earth
Mhm.
even into your home through
Yes.
through things like that, through rocks. You can, she wears it in
Hmm.
her bra.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
she wears it in her bra, you know,
Uh-huh.
and she's got all kinds of stuff that she uses. So yes, you can bring the
Mm.
earth inside to you. Plant, cover your surroundings with plants. Plants are living beings, right?
Mhm.
So there are things like that you can do, but also being intentional about releasing, Gina, right?
Mm.
I always tell people, people that take a shower, like you said, in the
Yeah.
evening, even when it's cold,
Yeah.
you can use that time to, visualize that water cleansing you, just like you have
Mhm.
physical dirt on your body,
Uh-huh.
right? You got spiritual dirt. You got to imagine that coming off of you and going down the drain, right? You
Right.
clean yourself off.
I love it. I just saw you. I just looked on your website before meeting you here, and I saw that you have those spiritual soaps, and they're so beautiful.
Yes,
That
thank you.
I love that. And I
Yes.
was just thinking right before I got in here, I was like, that is like the perfect gift for 2020, Christmas, because it's washing away this year, you could
Yes,
make a whole ritual out of it,
it
burn a
absolutely.
candle, play some
Yes.
music, you
Yes.
know?
Yes, rituals like that are good.
Hmm.
Because we rarely take time to do those things for ourselves.
Yeah.
It really is
Hmm.
pampering ourselves, it's caring for ourselves. A lot of times we'll put ourselves on the bottom of the list because there's so many other things in our lives that need attention. So if we don't
Hmm.
carve out that time for ourselves, then it just, the time goes by and next thing you know, the whole day is gone, the whole night is gone, and you're back on, and it's cumulative, right? that
Right.
that is cumulative, that adds up, the toxicities inside and outside our body. So
Hmm.
it is really important. And let me tell you what, healers themselves and spiritual people themselves are probably the worst.
Oh, really?
They're probably the worst. You know why? Because they're doing it for other people all the time,
Mm.
right? So that's
Yeah.
what they do all day. That's what they do all day. And so
Yeah.
it's almost like you get lazy. You get lazy to do it for
Hmm.
yourself.
Yeah.
And it's bad. So I rely on Paul. You know Paul, he's a
Yeah.
healing practitioner too. I
Hmm.
rely on him. He'll literally just put his hand on me and drain energy from me because I'm like, I'm so exhausted. And then he'll do work
Hmm.
on me because
Nice.
I'm too whatever to do work on myself. So I'm the biggest I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Oh.
it's hard to really kind of get into a ritual with yourself. It is. And I have a lot of respect for people that do it intentionally every day, like as part of their, like, putting on their clothes and brushing their teeth, right?
Hmm.
Because those are the people that are really able to kind of feel renewed, rebooted, refreshed every day, instead of people
Hmm.
like me who wait until the end of the week and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel imbalanced.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah,
Jeez.
but yeah, I'm really excited about this class because it not only goes over how to distinguish your sensitivities, but
Mhm.
how to maneuver them, how to understand where our stuff comes from. It goes over our subconscious mind, which is basically running the show in our lives right now, right? We
Mhm.
are all adults in little children, like we're little children in adult masks
Mhm.
running around this world, and everything that we are, everything that we believe, everything that we react upon is all subconscious programming. And so until we bring that into our conscious awareness, it's
Mhm.
going to remain hidden and we will continue to kind of react to things in life, be triggered and, for our stuff to come up and bubble up, right?
Mhm.
Usually happens through relationships, whether that's mom, boyfriend, husband, spouse,
Yeah.
spouse, parent, whatever. And
Mhm.
that stuff is going to come up for healing. And so,
Mhm.
what I want people to do is recognize when it comes up and recognize what it is, right? To have awareness. That's the first thing. If you don't have awareness, how could you heal
Mhm.
anything,
Right.
right? So I explained to them how that's where that subconscious mind lives, what's in there, how did it develop, and how is it showing up in your life every day, right? How is it showing
Mhm.
up in your life every day, and how you can shift and heal all those those wounds, that trauma, from childhood and
Mm-hmm.
and basically wipe your slate clean. You know what I mean? Wipe it all
Yes.
clean. So so that's a huge part of the course. But I had somebody, you know, because people are taking it right now. We're
Oh,
about four
yes.
we're 4 weeks into it,
Uh-huh.
and
Is
so
it a
the
live course?
what it is a
Mm-hmm.
it's a pre-recorded course, and then I go live every Wednesday.
Ah.
And then every Wednesday we have a private Facebook group, and then that's where I answer any questions that they may have, or you know, we talk about some of the concepts in that module. Um, but so the course is running right now for 6 weeks, and so the next cohort isn't going to start until January 6th after the holidays, and then that'll run, you know, 6 weeks in 6 week increments. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of learning to unlearn in this course, right? We got to unlearn all that stuff, Gina, that we learned growing up, or
Yeah.
sometimes didn't even, right? Sometimes it wasn't even anything we consciously learned. It just became part of who we were, right?
Exactly.
It's just who we are, who we know ourselves to be. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of the course. But I had somebody say, so it's a foundations class, Gina, but
Mm-hmm.
they, you know, somebody told me like this is like a master's level foundation class, which I'm gonna take that as, I hope that's a good thing.
Right.
I hope that's a good thing. But because there's a lot of information in there, and what I told my students is, you're not meant to memorize this information. You're not. That's not what this is about. You're not in school getting graded, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a foundational course, and it has a lot of information because this is the very least of what you should know about yourself as a spiritual being. The very
Mm-hmm.
least, right? You got to understand that you're an energetic being.
Mm-hmm.
When I say energy, what does that mean? You know,
Mm-hmm.
what in my body is energy? What does that mean? How am I affected by that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you that you are functioning in your subconscious mind, well, what does that mean? I need to know what that means. So it's a foundation in that this is the minimum of what you need to know for your healing, for
Mm-hmm.
your ability to maneuver this world in your spiritual self. So even though it's a foundations course, it's a master class of foundation courses, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
going to learn so much. And the group, you know, the people in the cohort, they stay in the group because the learning is continuous, right? You don't take the course and you're like, oh yeah, I got it, I'm good.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of your journey. Now you have awareness. That's what I'm giving you, is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
From here, from that, your journey just has begun.
Yeah. Then you're like, whoa, in your daily life, like, whoa, I know where that's coming from.
Right? You know what I'm talking about. It's like, that's
Yeah.
it. It's like, wow, wow. Like, okay, now I can put this thing that I learned, that I have awareness, and then now the practical application comes into my life. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. And then you have to do that 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
I'm doing the easy part. I'm just bringing it to your awareness. You actually have to do the work. Yeah, the second part is you having to do the work and recognizing and shifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's good. I'm excited, and I'm you know, I'm getting feedback from this first group to see what I need, if I need to tweak anything, if I need to add anything, or you
Mm-hmm.
know, so yeah, so I'm excited about it. And if there's anybody out there watching that wants to know more about your spiritual self and really just understand and really ready to heal, because like I said, Gina, when I
Mm-hmm.
promoted this course, I said, you know, it's not for everybody. Not everybody's ready, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are all at different points in our path, and that's okay. And you know what? Your soul knows when it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Your soul will know when it's ready, because you're just going to feel pulled, or you're going to see something at just the right time and say, like, you know what? I need to take that, or whatever. And I gave the example in my class of my girlfriend when she lived with me, or my roommate.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through a dark time, and she put the book The Alchemist on
Oh
my
yeah, I read that book.
right on my
And
dresser.
Coelho, right?
Yes, I
Coelho.
love him.
Yeah.
Paulo Coelho.
Paulo.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so she put it on my nightstand, and it
Oh,
sat there and collected dust for almost a year.
wow.
And she kept telling me, "Oh, Shello, I really think that book's going to help you." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't really not one to read, so I have to kind of be in the mood. But thank you,
Mhm.
whatever." She left it in my, and then a year later, Gina, I was going to take a flight to Vegas, And I
Mhm.
thought, well, let me bring this book because, 5.5 hours, I need something to read.
Yeah.
Gina, I finished the book from front to cover.
So good, huh?
So good. And you know what?
Yeah,
It was that point in time that my soul was ready to hear it. And let me tell you,
totally.
right there on the plane, so many synchronicities. They were talking about a butterfly. I was on Hawaiian Airlines. They gave us
Mhm.
these crackers. They were butterfly shaped,
Oh.
right? I was eating the chips. The chip was like a heart shape. When it was talking
Oh.
about, I was like, okay, I hear you.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I got the message. I got the message. Right. So I feel like when we're ready, we're ready. We know. Right. So if
Mhm.
people are teeter tottering, I don't know, it's okay. Like your soul's not ready. But when your soul's ready, it's whatever you need to know on your path is going to
Mhm.
find you. Right. It's
Yeah.
going to find you. It's going to pull you. When your soul's ready, you're going to be dragging behind it coming along.
Yeah. I love
So,
it.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. We just
Yeah.
need to be open to that
Be
happening too,
open.
right? Be open.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We that's it. That's more than half of it is really just to be open to your spiritual self. Right? And I think
Mhm.
especially with 2020, Gina, I think like a lot of people have really there's a lot of stuff that's been stirred inside because in all honesty, this is a collective awakening that's happening right now, this
Mhm.
chaos and this
Right.
these beliefs that are being like broken down and the racism and everything that's happening in the world that's
Mhm.
being brought to the limelight that can't be happening anymore and things are starting to crumble down, right? Things that have
Mhm.
happened all these years have starting to crumble down and people are speaking out and nobody wants to take it anymore and all this stuff, all this is a collective awakening that's happening in the world. People are waking up, trying to see the truth of what's
Mhm.
really going on in the world. So I think this year a lot of people have, their soul has been stirred to seek more, and seeing it everywhere on social media. More and more people are in tune, seeking and in tune with themselves. So I can't wait. I'm thinking like the generations to come, right? Like my daughter's children and their children, like what kind of world they're going to have compared to the world that we grew up in.
Oh yeah. So it's changing. Everything
So
is changing. Our
much.
education system, the way we do business, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I believe our wellness is starting to take the forefront too. Now it's a big, you know, spotlight on our health, and
Oh,
how
yes.
we can take responsibility and not wait for a vaccine to save
Yes.
us. The
Right.
circumstance, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're so much more powerful than we give ourselves credit for.
I
Really.
know. We
Really.
are.
You know,
Hmm.
um, yeah, so much more we could do in our own healing, right? I mean, Western medicine is only part of the equation, a small part of the equation of what we could do, right? That's
Hmm.
just usually by the time we're seeking somebody, it's the tail end of whatever our body has manifested. Um,
Hmm.
and so, yeah, there's nothing against anything. You incorporate, what resonates with you in Western and Eastern medicine.
Hmm.
You go with what resonates with you. But, to me, in a perfect world, it's a balance of the two, really.
Hmm.
It's the best of both worlds, right? Whatever you could do naturally to heal yourself. And if it needs to be supplemented with what the Western medicine, then great, but Western medicine isn't it. It's not just about shots and it's not just about, you know,
Pills.
pills. It's not just about pills, right? There's
Right.
so much more we could do. Yeah,
Right. And I think we're starting to see that there is always an underlying reason why we're, in a situation of unwellness, dis-ease.
dis-ease.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And you've been a pioneer of that for a long time with your wellness, with your Purium. You've lived this holistic way of life, right? Of really taking care of your body,
Hmm.
and so like that's wonderful. And I know you had mentioned with Dane. I think Dane, you gave Dane something recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like a shake or something?
Oh, well, he has been, since I started 6 years ago, he's been asking me, when can I do the cleanse? When can I do the cleanse? And I've always said, not yet, not yet, because I always thought that it was going to be me working with him. Like, I have to prepare this and I have to, I was like, I was also doing it with him, So, but I was just so surprised last month when he did it. He made his own. He took total responsibility for everything in the scheduling and what he was eating. And
Wow.
I was really impressed with him. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
was, I was hands off.
you've been modeling this for him, Gina, this whole time, right? See, as
Yeah.
moms, right, as moms were thinking like, oh my gosh, like, does he know what he's doing, right? But
Right,
in
right.
reality, he's
I was
been
a little
watching you
worried.
this whole time,
Hmm.
right? I'm sure he's like the other day when he was watching you on your,
Oh,
he's
my
always on your
dancing. Yeah.
sidelines. That was so good. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's amazes me. My daughter's 22, and I'm just now realizing
Mhm.
how much she actually learned just from something being modeled by me. Had no clue, right?
Right.
So yeah, so we are influencing them so much more than we even know. So yeah, I'm not. That
Totally.
doesn't surprise me that he was just like, I know what I'm doing. You know,
Yeah. Right.
I watch you do this all the time, Mom. I hear you talking about this all the time. So
Right. It's
well,
so
good for
cute.
him. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that he's following in in those footsteps.
I know. This morning he calls me up. He goes, "Mom, I'm out." He was at Doug's house and he's like, "Mom, I need some super aminos. I'm out." And I said, "Okay, come on over." And he picked it
Wow.
up. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
So
I
yeah, now
love
he
it.
knows what he wants to use, and I don't have to, feed it to him like I used to. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's all different.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. I love how you've been a big influence in his life for that. That's wonderful. That's like the biggest gift you can give him right there.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what else he said after he finished the cleanse the day after? He's like, "Mom, do you think it would be cheaper for me to drink green meal replacement shakes in college than to eat there, like, to eat out?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
it'd
And
be
like
cheaper
so
for
much
you."
better for you, right?
Yeah.
Like getting the right nutrients and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, love it. What a great
I
idea.
Yeah, he'll be definitely a customer for life. Maybe
I
I'll be
love it.
working with him one
I
day.
love it. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I know. It is. It's, that he's coming up with these ideas on his own, and I have not, telling him this is how you be healthy. He's
Yeah.
initiating it. So good.
Yeah, and then he feels the results of it. So he knows he feels good. So
Right.
like what's not to love about that, right?
Yeah. But when I first got interested in these products, I didn't realize, I thought it was all about weight loss, and I didn't realize how it actually, when you clean your body on the inside, it allows your spirit to like merge out of you. Like, then
Yeah.
you actually, it is a spiritual awakening.
It is because what else, right? If we have toxins inside, we have toxins in our heart chakra, we have
Hmm.
toxins in our physical body. We are constantly dealing with
Hmm.
toxicity all around us. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me that when you cleanse, that toxicity in your body that gives way, right, for your
Hmm.
spiritual self to be felt more, to
Yeah.
come to become alive in through that. That makes total
Yeah.
sense.
Well, I didn't know at the time when I did it. It was on
Wow.
day 3. I literally felt like a light bulb went off in my body, like this, like, I can't explain. Just when you turn on the light and you're like, "Whoa, I see."
Yeah.
That kind of a feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
absolutely. That's
interesting.
wonderful. I think that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
See how we find kind of different, pearls of wisdom in our lives, just kind of like without even realizing. It just happens, right? And then we're like so excited to share it with somebody else because it's like, oh my gosh, let me tell you about this cool thing, and you just want to
Yeah.
share it with everybody, because you just want everybody to feel like you. You want everybody to
Right.
experience all the things that you experience, right? But it's like
Hmm.
when people are ready, they will too.
Totally. Yeah. So awesome. It's so I just feel so blessed that I met you, and now we're friends, and
Thank you,
you
Gina. Yeah,
know,
you literally met me like literally my first day doing anything. That was it.
yeah.
That was the day.
You know what was really cool though? I have to say, like, when you did a reading for me when I was in New York, and you did a
Oh,
reading from
yes.
Hawaii, and I was thinking, how can she do that, without me even being there with you? And I was like, wow. And my intention for that reading that I asked you to was from, it was totally not what came out. And I thought, this is interesting that this is what the message is to you, for me, right?
Right. Right.
So when people come to see you, do they have an intention like that, and you just give what comes to you? How does that work?
Yeah. So when people come for the reading, it's really
Mhm.
interesting. You would think that people are like, oh, I want to talk to you about this one problem.
Mhm.
That's actually the kind of more rare. People are
Mhm.
more like, I want to know what spirit has to tell me. They're very
Oh.
open, right? They're very open about just it being an open reading.
Oh.
So a lot of times that's what they'll do. Just like, let's see what spirit wants to talk to me about. But even sometimes when there's intention, let's say
Mhm.
they want to talk about a specific thing, um, if they don't vocalize it to me, like, okay, we want to focus on this, so whatever. If they don't vocalize it to me, and I'm just kind of going through the reading, there are things that come up that may have to do with what they're initially thinking about, but then it may shift to what spirit really wants them to hear in that moment, right? So that's what's the beauty of just kind of like being a conduit or a channel, is that everything is like everything is from God, everything is from the universe, and it's what that person needs to hear, undoubtedly, right?
Mhm.
It's almost like their human self may feel like they're not ready, so they wouldn't dare ever seek, you know, any kind of coaching
Mhm.
or whatever on that particular thing. But spirit knows what the blockage is in your life. Spirit knows what's going on in your life that is causing, um, your spiritual self to, preventing it from moving forward to its fullest. So that's the stuff that's going to come up. And it's so powerful. I'll give you an example without giving away any details specifically of the person
Yeah.
or anything. But I went to the expo, and this
Mhm.
lady, she had signed up to see me, but she couldn't wait, so I didn't get a chance to see her. And 3 months later, she called me and she said, "Oh, I tried to see you at the expo, but I didn't get a chance to, and I was wanted to schedule a reading with you now." And right when she said that, I felt that it was because she needed to see me now, not then. I felt it right away,
Oh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Because you know, God's timing is perfect, right? Like I wasn't meant to see her there. That's why she couldn't get in to see me. But now here we have all this time together in my home, right?
Mhm.
And so when I the plan was just to do a reading with her. But then after I did a reading with her, I felt led to do energy work on her if she was open. And it turns out, and she started crying right away, right? Because it turns out when I saw her that time 3 months later, she actually had just miscarried,
Oh, wow.
right? She had just miscarried like a
Mhm.
month before. And she was really still struggling through it and everything. And I didn't know at the time, right? I was reading for her, but when God asked me to place hands on her and she was open to it, it drew me straight into her sacral chakra area, the uterus area. And I saw the vision of it was a baby boy,
Mm.
right? But like a fetus. It wasn't a baby yet, right? But I saw it was like missing limbs. And God told me to just scoop it up and lift it and offer it up to him. And I was doing that with her eyes closed, and she started crying. She didn't know what I was doing, right? She had no idea. She
Wow.
just felt the energy,
Mhm.
this
Lift,
heavy energy lift up.
I bet
Yeah,
yeah, I bet it,
it just
yeah.
like she overwhelmed her. But so afterwards, when I was talking to her and we got to the whole story, I told her, like, that's why you couldn't see me 3 months ago. Like, that wasn't the time. Like, God knew that you would need this word, this healing now, right? So it
Mhm.
was so powerful. It's just, there's so many of those stories like that. When it's at the right time, it's the right time. and when people feel called and led, they do. So just like that time you called me in New York, whatever made you call me,
Mhm.
that was your time, and so that's just the way it goes. And it's amazing. And it's just so powerful. And so me myself, right? I myself get overwhelmed with what channels, what happens in a reading. I
Mhm.
feel it in my whole being. I get God bumps. I
Yeah.
feel the everything,
Right.
I feel all the energy. So yeah, it's just amazing. He's amazing. It's amazing work. It's a really
Yeah.
amazing work.
Is there anything that you have to do to take care of yourself after you do a reading? Like, do you like brush off that energy or
Yeah.
do anything like that?
So before a reading, I take about the first 10 minutes to just kind of settle, remove anything from my own physical energy that doesn't bleed into the reading or whatever. And quite honestly, it depends on the person I'm reading for.
Hmm.
Everything I do is based on how I feel because I'm just such a feeling person. So if there was a lot of heavy energy, a lot of dark energy, a lot of just heavy
Hmm.
energy, then yes, afterwards I might feel like I need to, cleanse myself. I might need to a prayer of protection or a prayer of. Mainly it may start out that way with somebody, but it always ends up so loving and so healing, no matter how dark or whatever came up, no matter how much pain came up, for them to release, for them to, there's always tears, right? There's always crying, there's always tears. And then it's like full circle because by the time we hang up, it's like this release, it's like this joy, it's like this freeing.
Hmm.
So very rarely, I think it's only been maybe twice where I've read for somebody where I felt even long after, and I think it was even Paul who brought it to my attention,
Oh, uh-huh.
who he said, you've been extra kind of irritable after ever since you did that reading. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Like I
Mm.
picked up the energy. I picked up the energy because he could tell because I'm like, just irritated. I'm
Yeah.
in the kitchen and I'm like, he was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Did you just have a reading? And I was like, yeah, a few hours ago. Why? And he was like, yeah, because you weren't like that a few hours ago. But you might want to think
Oh.
about clearing your energy. It's also a good excuse, just so you know.
Yeah.
When I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, it must be that reading that I did.
Yeah. It's not me.
It's not me and my hormones. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Recently I've had a couple of glasses break in the house, and I was like,
Whoa.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, two in 1 week. Two glasses broke, and so I bought a smudge kit, and I haven't used it yet. Like a bowl with
Oh.
some of that dried
Yeah. This like
stuff.
sage or yeah.
Sage, yeah. So I was supposed to do it
Oh.
yesterday, for the full moon, but I didn't do it yet. So
Yeah.
I've
So
never,
you always have the windows open in your house, right?
yeah, well,
Okay.
mostly, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So when you do that, just make sure the windows are open so that it actually
Hmm.
filters out of your house. So
Okay.
whatever it is that you're saging, moves out. The energy moves out of the
Hmm.
house. So yeah, that's random. How did the glasses break?
I opened the box and one fell on the ground, and then I pushed the table back, and I forgot that I had moved this behind the table to put the Christmas decorations on it,
Decoration.
and then I pushed it back, and it completely toppled, and I didn't do it rough, so it's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
because stuff like that normally doesn't happen, and then twice in 1 week too.
Yeah. So if
So.
something happens, if something seems to happen over and over again,
Hmm.
pay attention. Okay, I'll give you an example. Spirit likes to use animals to relay messages. So if you all of a sudden start seeing, like, let's say a bird or feather, let's say you see a bird that's like randomly like in your house or something.
I have actually animals right now that's I don't know what the messages are.
Okay, okay. So
There's
animals.
there's a family of four doves, and I see their back,
Oh,
and I tried to I tried to, so first 2 days ago, I saw them, and then now there's four of them that are living right outside here. And even though I tried to, push the plants together and stuff, they still come back to that corner, and they all
Oh,
huddle together, like the four of them. And
wow. White
so
doves?
they're, just the doves,
Okay.
the four doves
Yeah.
together in like a family. So I guess just in the morning I just go and clean it off, but today I really tried to get this house back to, like to get rid of them, but I just look out the
They're
side of
hanging
my eye
out.
and I see they're still there. So
Yeah. So when things happen in our lives and we don't think anything of it, we're thinking like, why is that pesky little bird, and these animals show up and it's like, why do I keep seeing that same thing, or why do I,
hmm
and you'll notice that the reason why it keeps appearing is because it's like a message. There's a message from spirit trying
hmm
to get your attention, right? So when something keeps happening over, it's like, oh, there's doves outside. Then you might be shopping and you're like, oh, I see a dove on the window, or oh, somebody's wearing a dove necklace, or whatever the
yeah.
animal is, and you start seeing it over and over again. It's like, okay, it makes you stop and pay attention. That's the purpose.
hmm
You stop and pay attention and you start questioning, well, what could that mean? Like, what does that mean,
hmm
right? And doves actually have very spiritual significance. Think
hmm
about it. People use them for weddings. They're a symbol of love and peace and all
hmm
things good. And so doves are actually very, very spiritually, deep spiritual meaning. Birds in general
yeah.
have a lot of spiritual meaning to them. So, like when I read for people, I get animals a lot. I
hmm
get animals, and so that's one way that spirit tries to talk to us, is through animals, through numbers, through different ways. It's a
hmm
different language. I
yeah.
call it the sixth love language. We had that five love languages, right? So it's like
Yeah.
the sixth sense, right? The sixth love language. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
And you'll learn, if you're open, and if you're open to it, then you will start to understand what these messages mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's another, so that's one message there. These doves. And then the other one is a gecko that I actually named Estelle. I don't know why, but she comes out from underneath the refrigerator and she looks up at me, and
Oh.
some days she wants me to feed her when stops and looks up at me like, feed me. And then other days she's in this hunting mode, like she just doesn't even pay attention that I'm there and she's like hunting for food.
Wow. So you're like connecting with this
I'm
gecko.
connecting with this gecko. Yeah. I even say hi to, I mean, yeah, we talk.
Wow, and yeah, and geckos typically are scared of humans. So the fact that it comes out, it's like talking to you, like, "Hey, give me some food."
Right.
Yeah, but just be aware. Just be
Okay.
aware when you see, just like, okay, just see, because there might be something going on there, something more
Okay.
than what you think. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Very interesting. Yeah. And it's not like I had these animal things before.
right.
So, yeah,
Right.
all of a
So now they're
sudden.
gravitating, right? They start
Yeah.
gravitating towards you. So that's a very spiritual. It's a very symbolic of spirituality. When you start opening up things of nature, right? The earth, things of nature, plants, trees, animals,
hmm
will start. You'll start opening up a new kind of way of viewing and interacting with earthly things.
hmm
Yeah, you'll have a different set of eyes looking at them. So just be aware. That's all.
Okay. So I should let the birds stay then, huh?
Oh, those doves. Yeah, I
Those
think
doves.
yeah, doves are very spiritual. Yeah.
Okay.
I just
My
see
sister
might be
got a
trying to
little
bless you
nervous.
or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
my
see.
my sister's like, the lice, don't let them stay, kick them out. So I tried to push the plants together, thinking I got rid of that space, but they're making it happen over there.
Wow. Yeah, the fact that it keeps coming around. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pay attention to it. If it
Okay.
doesn't cause too much of a ruckus for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's true. Because I think in the beginning I was like there, these things kept coming in, into my, my personal space. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like can you put like pigeon things up there to keep them out? And can you do this? And can you do that? But I'm realizing that I attract all these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just part of it. You're going to attract geckos and all kinds of stuff.
All the animals.
By the way, I'm like terrified of geckos. So like,
Oh.
somebody said, geckos are around you so much, Cielo. Are you sure they're not your spiritual animal? I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh God. Yeah, because they do have actually very, they have deep spiritual significance, geckos.
Right.
So,
I was reading it's about transformation, right? Because they can lose their tail.
yes.
So that's
Yes.
about transformation.
Yes. Very earthly animals, very, yeah, just as butterflies are about transformation as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So when butterflies start hovering around you when you're hiking or something like that, when you start eyeing monarch butterflies and stuff.
I see them every day.
Yep.
Every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, we just think, oh, well, I'm just seeing them every day. But really those are special things for you.
Mm-hmm.
When you see those things, those are special things for you that you see.
Mm.
Right? Not everybody sees that. Right? Not everybody sees doves. Not everybody sees butterflies all the time. So when you see it as much as you do, it's like, yeah, that's your spiritual, that's them being drawn to your spiritual self, right? Because you're opening yourself up to a whole new world. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
It will
Let
be.
me
Yeah.
know. Let me know.
The other day, I'm on my elliptical outside, and then Estelle, now I know where she lives. She peeked out from behind my siding, and she's watching me. She just stayed there watching me.
I love that you named it. That's it.
Yeah.
Here's the rule of thumb. When you name it, it's a pet. It's a pet. Now.
Right. Uh-oh.
It's a pet. So yeah, it's good. It's good. All good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, this has been a lot longer than I thought it would, because we just talk stories so much, like such the conversation here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Gina. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. This has been great. It's been so long since we talked. And
I know it has, but I feel like I talk to you all the time because I see you all the time, which I love. Now that I'm back on social media, because I've been gone for so long.
Oh, really? You took a little break?
I did. I took like a 6-month break.
Wow.
During the COVID thing, I did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I just had to, I don't know, just go into a little cocoon for a little bit, just to kind of conserve my energy when everything just started, the peak of everything. I think it's just picking up too much energy from social. Yeah. And I just had to pull back my energy. And I think if that's one thing that I can share with viewers is, social media is such a big part of our life, and there's so many positive things about social media. And so choose what you consume, because it does affect your energy, right? So when you're watching people like Gina, and she's dancing and she's giving love and she's giving, so that's a good consumption. But when you're consuming things that people are just bickering back and forth about whether it's politics or whether it's whatever, and then, you could choose, right? You could choose what you consume on any given day, because that does affect us. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So keep putting that wonderful energy out there, Gina. I love your dance. I'm bummed that it ended. No, I'm bummed that it ended already.
Yeah, we might have to do that again, because everybody really loved it.
It was so good. You know why? Because I feel like I'm there with you. Like, even though my rear is on this chair, but I'm like bopping with you, and I'm like feeling you, because I'm such a feeling person, right? So like when you're dancing, I feel like I'm dancing. So in essence, you work out for me. So please keep doing it. Yeah. Can you please keep working out for me? Thank you.
Yeah, it's so crazy. People love it, and they're asking for more. But yet I don't understand the music thing. I can't choose. Like,
was it Prince or something? They chopped you
Prince
off
right away. Yeah.
What's up with that?
And then some other, and most of the other ones, there's a little pop-up after I'm done with the video, and it says, your video is partially muted, and only you can see this. And I was like, I didn't understand like how to pick a song. So it kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't
Oh,
know like um, how good it would be. Like, but it
right.
seems like people like it. So
People like it. I really, really. And then when your mom got on there, oh my God,
yeah.
I was like, yes, mom. That
It'd
was
be
awesome.
fun is to go to like just to go to like random public places and start
And
dancing
just
with
start
people as they're working. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. People need
At
to
the
dance more.
malls.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome, Gina. Keep putting out your wonderful energy to everybody. I know how many people are affected, positively with your light and all the stuff, good stuff you put out. So I'm
Yeah.
one of them. I consume you all the time when you're on. So thank you for your
Thank
wonderful
you.
light. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yes, definitely. And if anyone wants to connect with you, you're on IG as Island Intuitive.
Yes.
And I dropped the website in the description.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and on Facebook. And oh, and I do have a private Facebook group called Sensitive Souls. It's just,
Sensitive
yeah,
souls.
sensitive souls. So if you think you might be a
Mhm.
sensitive soul, whether you might think you're an empath or highly sensitive person or just sensitive in general, whether that's emotional or whatever, or maybe physically
Mhm.
sensitive, hop on over to Sensitive Souls community. And I just started it not very long ago. So it's growing. But yeah, I just wanted another forum to be able to speak to my tribe, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I
to
love
vibe
it.
with my tribe. Okay, there you
Yes.
go.
Sensitive souls in
Sensitive
Facebook.
soul. Yep.
Okay. Got
Thank
it.
you, Gina.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All
This has
right.
been
Good to
great.
see
Have a
you.
wonderful holiday season.
Oh, thank you. You too. You too. Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Tell mom I said hi.
Okay. And if anyone's
Okay.
watching on the replay, comment, post your questions, and we'll
Yes.
be back with you on the answers. Also, I recommend the spirituality soap on your website. That's a
Yes.
great gift for Christmas,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Hmm.
it
It's
is.
pretty.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful. It's
It
art.
is, and it's all natural.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's all natural. So good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
everybody.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
watching.
Bye,
And we will see you
Gina.
guys later. Have a wonderful night. Thank